So how long have you been in Japan now? You moved...
This will be my 3rd year in
Only
Japan.
3?
Yeah, I know. It feels like longer.
It feels like you were here before I moved.
No, that's
Did you ever live in
crazy.
Japan before? Or was this
I was here until I was born here, and then I was here until I was 3, and then I would come back every summer and winter, and I'd go to Japanese school during that time.
wow.
I never had summers off. It's really sad.
Wait, so you had a holiday where you'd go on holiday and go to school on holiday?
Yes, it was dark. It's messed
That's
up.
Japan for you.
That's Japan. Yeah, that is Japan.
That's
for
literally
you.
Son, you're gonna love this. I've booked you for another 6 weeks of school. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, so in the end, I would get like maybe 2 weeks of summer vacation. But like winter, there's no school.
So
right?
when you were watching like Phineas and Ferb, right, and like talking about all these days of vacation, that's a fucking lie.
It was heartbreaking because like I'd watch all these other cartoons that were like, oh, summer vacation,
3 months.
summer camp, blah blah blah, and I'm like, what is that? God, what is that?
It's like, who has time to camp when I have to finish my math homework?
I was like, wait, I have this kanji test. Like I have 4 kanji tests coming up. Like what's the break?
So how long did you do that for? Until what age?
Until middle school. Until end of middle school. So I graduated middle school, and then
14? 13?
13, yeah. And then when high school came around, my parents and I got together and they were like, do you want to go for a Japanese university or an American university? Like, where do you want to like end up?
Right.
And at the time I was like, America, duh. 'Cause, like, there's this boy I have a crush on. Like, I'm gonna be here forever. So also, like, I only knew of Japan during the summer and winter. So I was very conscious that, like, I don't know how to live in Japan. Like, I don't know
Well, yeah, because you
that's about.
experienced the 2 extremes, right?
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
was like, this isn't fun. Like, well, it was. But I was very aware that I don't know how to live in Japan. So, and also my English was way more superior than my Japanese, even after all that schooling. Maybe I'm just dumb. But yeah, so I decided I wanted to go to an American university. So that allowed me to drop all of my Japanese stuff because, you know, in America, like you study for the SATs and you prepare really hard. So yeah, that's what happened. And then 20 years later, I moved back to Japan.
Wow.
Full circle.
Yeah. I never, ever in my life thought I would want to be living in Japan.
Was it how you imagined it to be?
Well, you know, it sucks because the first year I moved, so I moved like towards the end of 2018. 2018 into end of 2019 was phenomenal. It's exactly how I envisioned it.
Yeah.
Work was flowing in the way I needed it to and the way it made sense.
Yeah.
I was going back and forth between the US and Japan, like doing hosting gigs here and there. So everything like kind of tied together in harmony. And then, you know, I keep bringing it up, like, I can't help it. COVID hit, and now everything is so dislodged. And again, like I said before, I'm just trying to stay relevant so that I can have that back. I can have that rhythm and harmony back.
Yeah.
And so now it feels more like a trying to stay relevant catch-up game. And it's a little bit weird, but I'm sure it's weird for everybody. Like, it was a mess. It's been a mess of a time.
I mean,
Literally just
I
moved
can't
here.
judge it.
And then it happened.
I feel like I've only had a collective like experience of moving here for about like 4 months.
I get
because
it, yes.
That's the amount of time I've stayed here before COVID hit. So
Totally.
I don't really feel like my journey in Japan has like started yet.
I feel really bad for you guys, honestly, because it's like, yeah, again, as you said, like, you guys have been for almost 2 years now. But it just feels like, I feel like you've barely gotten to experience like what it's like. Right?
I think I'm very lucky that I ended up in the one country where it wasn't affected too heavily.
Yeah,
Like,
do have to
obviously,
appreciate that.
obviously, you know, it was kind of bad here, but you know, we were able to keep doing this podcast. We were able to like go outside. Like, it was like, you know, whereas in the UK, it was like no one is allowed to leave your house at all, and they were really strict about it.
Right.
So I was like pretty glad. I feel like I kind of escaped, but then also on the other hand, it's like I feel super isolated here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't help with the time zones. It's completely different, so you barely get to talk to people on other time zones. You know, so it's kind of.
I think this is the first ever time I've ever like felt homesick, and I don't normally feel like homesick, but it was just more like, man, just, you know, not being able to see my family and my friends, that's different from like, you know, knowing that I can see them whenever I like.
Of course, yeah. It's
I mean,
different when you're
I
forced.
feel that, and you know, this is technically my home, like my second home. Like, I haven't been able to see my family here for like over a year now.
Really?
Yeah, just because like we agreed as a family to like not see each other until COVID was over. Because like last thing I want to do is give my cousin COVID.
Of course.
Right,
So it's like that would be fucked. So
I'm curious, was there any like big reason, or is it like a turning point that made you think like we're moving to Japan?
Well, the timing factor is that I was just really sick of LA, but also during the year that I decided to move here, I was going back and forth to Japan a lot, and it made me miss every time I came back. My wanting to live here would just
miss Japan.
Yeah, it would just get like deeper and intense. And then, you know, I never grew up with my family at all. It was always like my parents are divorced, and my mom raised me alone in a foreign country. It seems weird saying America is my foreign country, but it is. And like, I was never a citizen. I was an immigrant. I'm a green card holder in America. I'm a Japanese national.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like a hard Japanese national.
Damn,
so
okay.
Until I married my American husband, I was never actually an Asian American. So
Right.
in a way, I was like, I don't know if I belong here. Like, I know I fake it, and maybe that's like just kind of like worked its way into my actual personality. But I'm like, my Japanese soul wants to be with my family. And my cousin had her first baby, and I was watching her grow up from LA, and it like kind of broke my heart, because I'm like, the new generation has started, right? And I'm like, I can't even be there for that. Like, I missed the previous generation, and like, you know, like my second cousins are, one of them just graduated college, and I didn't get to watch her grow up when I used to babysit her when she was a baby, and in the summers, in between kanji tests, and and I don't know, like as I aged, I really felt like I would be so angry at myself if I didn't take this opportunity right now to at least experience living in Japan as a Japanese person and being around my family. And then it actually did, like, the timing was insane because COVID had happened. But then, unfortunately, my grandfather was like diagnosed with cancer, but I was there for him, and that's all I wanted. Like, it would have killed me. It would have killed me if I couldn't be here for them, you know? And in a way, like, first of all, like, he was old as fuck. Like, it's okay. Like, he lived a full ass life, and he smoked like a pack of cigarettes a day. Like, it's fine. But like, the fact that I got to be there, and I don't have to feel like there was this big hole that you know, in my life again, because I lost my grandparents on my dad's side when I was younger, and I was in college, and I couldn't get out of college. I couldn't take time off to go see them. So that was like always such a huge stain in my life. And I was like, this makes so much sense. So
I feel really bad now, because I remember, like, as a kid, right, you'd go to some family reunion, and your parents, well, my parents would introduce me to like this uncle or something, and they'd be like, oh, I remember when you were just a little baby, I held you, I helped raise you up. And I was just like,
who are you?
Thanos, I don't even know who you are. You know? And now that I've had like cousins who, you know, I've had kids, and I've, you know, held them and seen them grow up as well. I know I'm going to say exactly the same thing. And I know I'm going to be that uncle now, and I know the kid is just going to look at me the same way.
You're going to be Uno reverse card.